you even start a podcast?
Well, I don't know.
Podcast!
I was about to start it. Hello, party people. So please edit that down. Or this way.
Hello. I swear every week I'd say it in the same, like, monotone.
Yeah.
Hello.
You're better at starting it. You come in with like the hello, welcome to the podcast. Whereas I'm just like, I just don't really know how to respond.
Hello, welcome back to the Disappointing Old Parents podcast.
Whoop, whoop. What episode number is this?
8.
I feel like at the start of every episode we have to talk about how many episodes
Yeah.
we're through because, I mean, this still could be a hyperfixation, but it's looking on the bright side.
It is. We've done... I can't believe this is going to be 8.
I can't believe we're in April already of the year.
Neither can I.
It's depressing.
It is.
I hate that it's going to be Christmas.
So
soon.
I can't even think about
I
Christmas.
hate Christmas so much.
Is it because you disappoint your family at Christmas?
Yeah, that's one of the reasons. But also, my family disappoint me at Christmas. This episode, we're going to be talking about sleep and the sleep problems we have, which, again, is one of those things that not all people with BPD will experience. But, I mean, I didn't really sleep last night, and so this is the topic.
Yeah, and we're both tired. Like, I don't really have a reason to be tired. But, like...
Excuse me, you wake up every day and go to work, you have a reason to be tired.
True. But you didn't go to sleep till, like, 5 a.m.
Yeah.
But you're mega tired.
Yeah, but I'm not tired anymore. I was saying to
You've
Katie
reached the
earlier,
stage.
I don't even know if I have reached the stage, like, of tiredness at least, but I do feel enlightened.
Yeah.
So I do feel like maybe I'm on the path to a spiritual journey. I don't know, I feel like there's some kind of monk thing out there where they make you stay up for 2 or 3 days, and then they make you meditate, and then you go on to reach nirvana.
Were you a little tired earlier?
I was a little tired earlier.
Because when I used to work night shifts, and you've worked night shifts too, so I imagine you might know this too. But, like, I would wake up, I'd be tired. And then I would get to the point where I'm so tired that I'm no longer tired anymore. And now I'm really awake and really wired. And, like, yeah.
I do get that sometimes. I feel like specifically when I was on night shifts. How long did you do nights for?
A little under a year.
Fairs, yeah. I loved it.
So-
I loved waking up, the way my day worked, the routine I had. I loved going to bed at as soon as I finished work.
Yeah.
Because it meant I didn't have to spend like 2 hours decompressing as I have to do now, sometimes 3 hours, because the day is rough. But I would just finish work, go to bed, wake up, and then I'd have about 5 hours, 6 hours where I could just relax. Sometimes it was worse because then I'd sit there thinking, oh, I've got work, and I'd get tired about it. But I did finish on work and then go straight to bed.
Yeah, and I found that I slept better. Like during the day, and then being up all night. I wasn't, especially if I did so I would do 5 night shifts a week. And if they were like, because sometimes it was annoying where I'd be like in one day, off the next, and then in the day after, and that was annoying because it's like,
you don't feel like you have a proper day off.
Yeah, but when I had them all in a row, it just felt like so much easier to sleep in the day and then wake up and then, like you say, like not like have a few hours to actually relax, and I'd like have food and then I'd be like, I'm ready to go again. But that's not how it is now.
I do miss working nights, but towards the end of it, my body, you could tell, didn't like it. I didn't want to sleep in that sleep pattern because I used to do 4 days on, 3 off.
Yeah.
And on my 3 days, my sleep schedule would completely turn upside down. I'd finish work at 7 a.m. I'd go to bed. I'd probably wake up at about 12. And then that night, I'd want to go to bed at like 11. Next day, I'd start waking up at about 8. And so I found my schedule having to swap around a lot. And that was really fucking with me.
That is the difficult bit. Like, especially like because I remember at the time people would be like, oh, do you want to meet up and do something? And I'm like, well, I am off that day, but I was at work the night before, and then I've got work the day after, so I don't really want to be awake during the day, because if I am, it's going to mess up my sleep schedule for tomorrow.
Yeah. and you could only really start seeing people in the evenings, and then because other people run on a completely different schedule, it's hard to sort of go about that.
Yeah.
But I was lucky because towards the end of that job, I was working from home. So I'd just have my friends come over and chill, and then I'd have to take a call and be like, everyone quiet.
Yeah.
I'd be like, hello, you're through to Eden, and whatever I had to do.
That is the good part of it.
It is the good part of it. And I work from home now, and I like I was saying again about this earlier to Katie, I love it. I couldn't ask for something better. For something that helps my mental health.
Yeah.
Something that I'm able to get up every day and actually do.
It feels more of a task to actually get up and go somewhere, whereas like because I'm working from home tomorrow, I can get up and all I have to do is just go downstairs. So it's not like I actually have to overcome leaving the house in order to go to work, and I do like that.
And the house, or specifically my bed, for me is very much a safe space. My bed, I have about 5 different duvets, and I feel super safe when I'm under them, and it's just like sensory wise, but also for the anxiety, I love it. And having to get out under that and like expose my body to the world does suck.
Yeah,
it does suck a bit. I've had sleep problems since I was about 12. Since before I was even diagnosed with depression or anxiety or BPD or whatever, I'd always suffered with sleep or like getting to sleep mainly. Even at school, I'll go to bed, and I've done so many like sleep health hygiene or sleep hygiene habits where you don't drink any hot drinks, anything with caffeine in, just water. You take a hot bath, no phone 2 hours before bed. I've done everything. It still wouldn't help, and I'd go to the doctors, and I've never been officially diagnosed with a sleep disorder, but I have been prescribed sleep medication to help with it, and like I know you have too.
Yeah, so I have always struggled with my sleep, and I don't know if this is like maybe something to do with my autism, I'm not really sure, but because even when I was a child, as in like 3 years old, I would never sleep, and then I would sleep for literally like a minute, and then I would be awake, and I would be like, I would not sleep for like the whole night because I'd slept for a minute. And then when I got to around probably like 11 or 12, like you say, I had really bad insomnia, so I could not sleep. And I remember they gave me these tablets for once, and I took them. And it was the worst thing ever because they made me so tired, but I still couldn't sleep. And I was like, this is hell. I was laying there being like, I just want to like go to sleep, and I'm so tired, and I'm yawning, and my eyes are watering, but why can't I go to sleep?
It's like your brain won't shut off. Like last night, I went to bed at 10. I went to bed ready for an early night. I sat in a dark room. Granted, I went on my phone like intermittently because you get bored.
Yeah.
But I was sat there in the dark room, pitch black, just overthinking. And even at some points, I was so tired, and I was laying there. I was like, I should be able to go to sleep, but it's like my mind just won't drift off.
Yeah.
And I do feel like my body may have like not slept, but gone into that paralysis state.
Yeah.
Because sometimes I do feel like it is a bit harder to move.
Yeah.
But
I know what you mean.
Like my brain was still alert, and I was still overthinking, and it was still horrible.
Yeah, I know what you mean. And recently, I don't really struggle too much with going to sleep anymore because obviously I take sleeping tablets to help me, so I don't struggle with that anymore. But I probably would if I don't take them, if I forget, I'll be laying in bed and being like, why can't I sleep? And then I'm like, oh, I forgot my tablets, and then I go take them and I can fall asleep. But yeah, I used to struggle, and I'd always wake up as well, and also have very severe nightmares / sometimes sleep paralysis. And yeah, so I'd wake up a lot as well. And then I can't wake up in the morning.
Yeah, that was my biggest problem with sleep meds, is how sludgy or sluggy sluggish I felt the next day on them. Getting up is such a chore on them. I do find they help me to fall asleep.
Yeah.
And a couple of times where I've been prescribed new medication, I've taken it, and within like half an hour, 40 minutes, I'm falling asleep.
Yeah.
There's this one time when Katie was around and Kain was here, and I had taken my sleeping tablets. I don't know why I'd taken them while you were still here. We did used to nap all the time together. We'll get into that in a second. But I literally was so tired, and I remember walking down the stairs and I sort of fell asleep and I fell down the stairs and there was this like lump sticking out of my foot, and then I ended up having to go to hospital and I was so tired and I had to keep myself up and I was crying and everyone was like, oh, you're in pain, and I wasn't in pain, I was just so tired.
Yeah.
I didn't want to be in A&E.
Yeah. I remember you just sitting there and being like, I just can't. Like, everyone, we all looked at Eden's foot and we were like, that's broken. Because there was a big bone, like a big lumpy thing sticking out.
It turned out it was just tendons. Like, I fucked up all the tendons in my ankle and like my foot. But there was like a lump on my foot. And looking at it, it did scare me. And it scared everyone else as well.
Everyone was like, you need to go to hospital.
Yeah. When I was in hospital, I had some nurses look at my foot before the x-ray and was like, that looks like a break.
Yeah.
So I was so ready for it to be a break. So when I was told it was just ligaments, I cried even more because I felt like it had been wasted.
Yeah.
They did nothing other than tell me it was ligament damage and to rest.
Mm-hmm.
I could have rested at home.
Yeah, that is annoying. So obviously with depression and BPD and every mental health issue, well, most of them, you tend to nap a lot. And that is something that me and Eden have done many times together in the past.
Yeah, I absolutely love our friendship.
Mm-hmm.
And I love that we both sort of experience the same mental health issues. But there have been times where we are enabling each other with some bad behaviour.
Yeah.
And one of them was napping.
Yeah.
Consistently, we'd be like, oh, you want to come round today? You want to come round? Yeah, sure, come round. Like, I'd go to Katie's for 3 hours, we'd nap the whole time. And then my mum would come and pick me up.
Yeah.
And, like, it wasn't a bad thing. I think we both needed it. But it was also because we were depressed and we were so tired. And we were, like, at college at the time. And
sometimes, like, when I wasn't in college, I would be at home asleep, like on the sofa downstairs. And I didn't know this at the time, but obviously Eden would go to where my mum worked because it was sort of on the way home and would be like, oh, like, how's Katie? And my mum would be like, oh, not good, she's at home. And then Eden would walk all the way to my house, which is really far, by the way. It's a trek. And then I would wake up and Eden would just be like sitting on the sofa next to me and I'd just be like, oh, hey.
I loved that though. I absolutely loved like getting back from college and just going to Katie's and I loved your house. I loved that chair.
Yeah.
And we're not going to get into it because I might be a little bit disappointed in me here, but I'm kind of upset with her because of it.
We had a recliner, like a reclining chair, and it was Eden's chair, and she would sleep in it, and it was her favourite thing, but my mum got rid of it, and Eden's really upset about it. Still.
Well, it's just one of those things, you know. And again, going back to the safety net, like my bed, sofas, because you spend so much time in there. I was went to Colchester Zoo with a couple friends, and when I came back, Emma had changed all the sofas in this house to these ones. I was not happy. They're not nice. I mean, they're okay, but the other one was like my seat. It had a mould of my arse into one of the cushions.
Was that the corner one?
Yeah, it was.
That was nice.
It was nice, and the cushions would always come off. It was a shit sofa. It was quite dirty, and the design was questionable. But it was so comfy, and you could like lay down on it, and you could get yourself into all these cool positions.
Yeah.
And also as well, because I did sleep on that for about 3 years
Yeah,
as well. So it was like my bed.
Yeah.
So to come home to these.
Yeah, it's a disappointment.
Because these are recliners. The other one was like a long L that you could like lay across.
Yeah.
And you could lay on these, but where people sit on like either sides of the cushions, the 3-seater middle cushion is super raised because no one sits in it. And when you're like laying across it, you can feel like
the bump and like sitting on a camel's back.
Yeah, it's horrible. I don't know why anyone would choose to sleep on something like that. I feel like with mental health in general, sleep is such an important part of it. The relationship that you have with sleep can severely impact your mental health. When I don't sleep well, or I have work the next day and I can't sleep, I'm then anxious about how late I'm going to sleep. So then I can't sleep because I'm anxious about that. And I just get myself caught in these cycles. And not even just with work, just in general, if I am unable to sleep, it gives me anxiety for some reason.
Me too. And like, I don't know why, but like, even like you say, like, if I haven't got anything to do the next day, or like in times when I haven't had a job, if I can't sleep, I'm like, immediately anxious because I'm like, I should be asleep right now, but I'm not. And it's just horrible not being able to sleep, especially when you have got depression and other mental health issues, because you are always tired. So it's like, why can I not sleep?
And a lot of the time, like, I've used sleep as a coping mechanism. There have been times when I'm not at work or I've got nothing to do the next day where I will just take a sleeping pill, sleep, and then when I wake up, I'll take another sleeping pill.
Yeah.
To just, like, keep myself it's like a self-induced coma at that point.
Yeah.
Because things are just so hard, and when it gets to the point where, like, the sleeping pills aren't working and you're unable to fall asleep, it's like a big coping mechanism that's been taken away. So then my mind's like, okay, what other coping mechanisms do we have?
Yeah.
Self-harm.
Yeah.
Or going down that bad route of stuff to do the unhealthy stuff.
Yeah, sleep is definitely a big coping mechanism for me. Even now, like even if I have got work the next day, sometimes I go to bed really, really early just because, like, I don't know, if I feel anxious or something, I'm like, I'm gonna go to sleep because I know I feel anxious. And like, obviously, like I say, it's easier to fall asleep now with my medication. I'm literally out in like 20 minutes, which is great.
Falling asleep is horrible. And, like, if I don't sleep throughout the day, I feel super fuzzy. And I feel very numb inside, which I feel anyway, but it's worse when I don't sleep. I also get super emotional. I'm like a toddler in that sense.
So do I.
I'm super susceptible to tantrums if I've got as much sleep. When Kain got home from work today, I warned him. I was like, I've not had much sleep, and one wrong word could send me. And whether that's anger or tears, I've yet to find out. But
yeah, I get really irritable when I'm tired. And just grumpy and very angry.
Yeah. But sleep is so important to every aspect of our mental health. It's just all these other things that sleep affects because it fucks your hormones.
Yeah.
So obviously BPD as a whole is a relatively new like mental health condition that has been categorised. But since it has been, which I can't remember when next episode is going to be the history episode. It wasn't going to be tonight, but we were too tired. But like recently there have been more studies into people with BPD and how they sleep, because whether you're having trouble falling asleep or sleeping too much, because that's also a problem, not being able to wake yourself up. Like, I know I said I use medication to keep myself asleep, but some people who are depressed can sleep for like 18 plus hours a day because of it, and like both ends of the spectrum can cause issues.
Yeah.
But there has been a lot more research into it, and as well as like nightmares, flashbacks, anxiety attacks. A lot of people have those. I know you said earlier you had quite bad nightmares.
Yeah.
I know some people who have experienced trauma will have like traumatic nightmares or nightmares that play on their anxiety. Like, if you're worried, like BPD, that people are going to leave you, you're consistently having dreams that people leave you.
Yeah, definitely.
I would say I have very hyper realistic dreams. I wouldn't say they're necessarily traumatic. I have had a couple of dreams where like they've convinced me of something, and I've woken up and like I lost two sisters I never had in a dream, and I woke up and I was like hysterical about it.
Yeah.
Because I genuinely felt like I had those sisters that had died even though I didn't.
Yeah.
And it's crazy, like waking up from that. I felt relieved obviously to be awake, but then it's crazy that I can do it. And then it affected my mood for the whole day.
So are your dreams like really, really vivid? Because mine are.
Mine are too.
To the point where like sometimes like I'll be having a dream and I can like smell stuff in the dream and like feel stuff. Like I've like hurt myself in a dream before, and then I've woken up and my leg hurts. So I probably did hit it or something in my sleep. I don't know. But like,
or it could all be psychosomatic.
Yeah.
My brain is crazy.
It could be. And it's just, yeah, my dreams are so vivid. And so I wake up and I'm like, I feel like I haven't even like had a rest because I've just like lived this crazy, like weird, vivid dream. And I'm like, really? Now I have to go to work?
I have lots of zombie dreams.
Do you?
Weirdly, lots of zombie dreams. So like ones set in places that I know. So for example, but like they're not places I know. So for example, it'll be my front of the house, but you walk in, it'll be somewhere else. It'll be like a high school. So I have a lot of those kind of dreams. And then I had one where I was like running from rooftops in France from these zombies.
Yeah.
And then there was this other one where we had to hang from the top of the kitchen cupboards. So, like, because there was like a rush of zombies every 20 minutes and they'd all run and they wouldn't stop. But it was just like you had to get out the trample of them. Like, I don't really know what they were. So we had to like cling to the kitchen cupboards every 20 minutes.
Yeah. That's intense.
I don't know why.
Yeah. That is weird.
And what is it about zombies?
I don't know. Are you scared of zombies in real life?
I'm not scared of zombies. I actually welcome the idea.
So maybe it's just your brain being like,
here's what
fuck yeah, this is what I want.
Maybe. I don't know, because it is scary. Like, I say that, it is scary.
Yeah.
Or, like, sometimes as well, like, the other day I had a dream, and it was in, what's that place in Yarmouth called? The Long Road?
Regent Road.
Regent Road. It was down Regent Road, right? And everyone was told there were zombies. I didn't see any zombies.
Yeah.
But, like, there was like a tone to the dream that you could tell there were zombies in this world. And we were trying to go shopping and it was just shopping like normal. It was like, oh, you're not a zombie, are you?
Yeah.
But like everyone was like, there are real zombies. But I hadn't seen one. It was just like,
it's like a feeling.
Yeah, that I knew there was zombies. It was so weird.
That is weird. Some of the dreams I've had are just crazy. And like, I think I said earlier, I've had sleep paralysis before. And this one time, I remember I was in my bed, obviously, asleep.
Could have been in the car or something.
And I woke up, and that's in quotation marks, because obviously I was sort of still asleep because it's sleep paralysis. And for some reason, I thought my mum was downstairs in the kitchen. But, like, it wasn't my mum. Like, I could almost, like, envision her down there, but I couldn't actually see her.
Yeah.
I was like, that's my mum downstairs. And she was, like, cutting up this block of cheese. And I could hear, like, this, like, of the knife. Adding sound effects now. Also, I couldn't actually, like, because this was sleep paralysis, so I was, like, I couldn't move. I was laying in my bed. So I couldn't, when I say it was a block of cheese, that's just, for some reason, is what I imagined that is what she was doing. But, like, I couldn't actually see that was what she was doing. And then she started coming up the stairs and, like, hitting the knife closer and closer. And I could see her shadow, like, because my door was open and I could see, like, the landing hallway light on. I could see her shadow getting closer and closer. And I was, like, panicking. I couldn't move either. Eventually, I don't know how it ended, but I woke up, like, properly and my body could move. And, like, obviously my mum was asleep in bed, so, like, that didn't actually happen. But that was weird.
That's terrifying.
I know.
That's actually so scary.
I know, because, like, the worst thing about it was, like, it was my mum, but I knew it weren't.
Yeah.
Like, there was something about it. Yeah.
That's
was, like,
so creepy.
Like you said, like, that's what reminded me of it when you said there was, like, a tone. Like, you could feel, like, that's what I could feel.
Yeah.
There was something not right about it. And that was weird.
That's really scary, actually. No. That's so scary.
I know. But it didn't happen in real life.
Well, yeah, thank God.
Yeah.
And on that note, Lao Tzu once famously said, like, woke up from the dream of being a butterfly and famously said, am I a human dreaming of a butterfly, or am I a butterfly dreaming of being human?
Well, if we relate that to my situation, I'd rather be a human dreaming of my mum chopping up cheese than be the cheese.
Did it ever get to the room, the shadow?
No, well, it was, like, in the doorway.
Okay, so I'm gonna, like, freak you out here, I'm sorry. But your house was freaky.
No,
like,
my house was scary.
It, like, I'm not even sure if it was scary as such, but there were some weird things that happened.
There was. And it was, again, going back to it, there was, like, a feeling there. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. There's one time, I can't remember why we were downstairs in your house, but I think you were bringing up food and I was upstairs, and I just heard Katie run up the stairs. I've never seen her run that quick in her life. It was run for your life kind of quickness. And I was like, what's happened? And like, what did you say? You can tell the story.
So I was, like, halfway up the stairs and I thought I could hear someone in the living room. So, like, I was stood still on the stairs and I was, like, listening. And then all of a sudden I heard next to my ear, like, a click, and I legged up the stairs so fast.
That was creepy.
Yeah. That was scary.
Do you know if anyone ever died in your house?
I don't know. I did look it up once and I couldn't really see anything about it.
Because where we are now, this was built on a workhouse.
Yeah.
So kids definitely died in this build, like, on this ground.
Yeah.
But I don't feel scared in this house. I used to get creeped out in my mum's house.
So did I at your mum's house.
Everyone got creeped out.
It was the stairway bit. like in the hall bit. Like,
yeah. This actually might be way too much information for the podcast, but the first time I ever got my friend was round, and instead of waiting downstairs, she was too scared, so she just sat in my wardrobe.
To be fair, I probably would have done the same.
I can't believe I did that. Why would I just be like, okay, like, no, this isn't how I want to get for the first time. If you're out there and you're listening, you know who you are.
Yeah. I've heard the story before.
Okay, good. Because my friends would always say they'd see like orbs and stuff in my house. And as well, what really creeped me out is I had the attic in my room.
Oh, yeah.
The attic hatch. And there was a solid like couple months where the thingy wouldn't fit properly. So I just had a hole in my roof leading to the attic. I would lay at night and I'd stare at it. I'd be like,
I couldn't do that. I'd be under the quilt.
It's better to see.
Is it though?
I don't know.
I'd hate to think what was in my mum's attic.
Your house was creepy.
It is. My mum still lives there. There's so much stuff happened in that house that was just so like unexplainable. And like, yeah, my brother used to, because we used to live next door to this boy who was my brother's age, and they would go play outside in the garden, and my brother would knock on the wall to basically be like, do you want to come out and play? And he would knock back. And then when they moved out, my brother was laying in bed and he heard the knock. Heard a knock, and it was the same knock. Isn't that so creepy?
That's so creepy.
Anyway, back to sleep.
Oh, okay, yeah. So we completely like went off track there. It says, although not traditionally thought of as a disorder associated with sleep disturbances, there is a growing evidence that those with borderline personality disorder experience a variety of problems with sleep, including increased sleep onset latency. I don't know what that means, but I don't feel like it means having trouble falling asleep.
Yeah.
Low sleep efficiency. True.
Yes.
I don't never wake up feeling refreshed.
I never have, I don't think.
Do you think that's like part of the depression, or do you think we're just lacking in certain vitamins?
I don't know. It could be both.
I'm definitely lacking in B12, and there's a high chance you are too now, you're vegetarian.
Yeah, probably. I need to have a blood test.
Every blood test I've had since I was 8 years old has come back and be like, you're deficient in B12. And I know I am, but the tablets they make you take are disgusting.
Really?
Yeah.
Every single blood test I have, they always say I'm lacking vitamin D.
Sunshine vitamin.
Yeah.
That makes sense. But it also goes on to say about like abnormal sleep architecture and nightmares as well. And that's like sleep disorders are clinically pertinent to BPD as they're linked to functional impairment. So the emotional dysregulation is affected obviously when we have less sleep, or even when we oversleep.
Yeah.
It's like the symptoms are definitely worsened by sleep.
That's the thing with me. I either have not enough sleep or I have too much.
Yeah.
There's never like a middle good positive ground. It's always one of the extremes.
And I feel like when you say like good or bad sleep, it doesn't even matter the amount of hours I sleep. Sometimes I will sleep for 2-3 hours and I'll wake up and I'll be like, I feel refreshed, amazing. And some days I will sleep for 12 hours, 8 hours, and I wake up and I'm still tired. I still feel sluggish, and I still don't feel like I'm able to go out and do things.
Yeah. And one of the worst types of sleep, I think, anyway, is when you're sleeping, but you keep waking up like constantly, because then it's like such a broken sleep cycle. And then you wake up and you're like, I just want to go back to bed.
Yeah. And as well, I find I sleep better or easier during the day. If I'm going for a nap, I have no problems falling asleep. Maybe a couple times, and then I just won't go for the nap. So I suppose maybe that's also why, because then it's not as big of an issue.
Yeah.
Whereas like when you go down with your main sleep at night, you know it's important to your mental health or whatever. But I never have problems with napping. And it just stresses me out that the minute it hits like 8 p.m. and I try and go to bed for an early night, I'm like, can't do it.
Maybe it's because of like more pressure, whereas with a nap you get to decide when you nap if you're tired. Do you know what I mean?
My favourite thing is not setting alarms for a nap.
Yeah.
Just letting it happen,
Raw
waking up.
dogging it.
Yeah. I absolutely love saying raw.
Same.
And I know it's wrong context, but it's so much fun to say.
It is.
But yeah, I love raw dogging the alarms.
Yeah.
Just not turning them on.
Mm-hmm.
Just waking up when I feel like I need to.
Yeah.
Because that's rare that we get to do that in adult
I know.
life.
I remember one time, me and Rachel, when we were living at my mum's still, we got home from work. It was probably like 5 or 6. And we were like, let's have a nap. So we had a nap, completely forgot to put alarms on. And we woke up at 1 in the morning. And we were starving because we hadn't had tea. And yeah, we couldn't go back to sleep because we were like awake.
God.
And we were like, great.
Did you have a fight the next
Yeah.
day? I would have called in sick.
It was fucking horrible.
I can imagine. That sounds horrible.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yeah.
But it's when you don't have anything to do the next day or nothing to do later on that evening, it's not an issue. Because that's my problem now. I would love to nap, but it fucks me over. And that's genuinely why I think, did I nap yesterday? Probably why I didn't sleep last night. Because I only had about an hour's nap yesterday. But even still, that my body, that just fucks with me.
Yeah.
And like if I've got work tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. and I finish work at 6, if I was to go for a nap, I would not sleep that night.
No. My favourite nap time is at about 11 a.m.
Oh, a morning nap.
Yeah. Like when you wake up early, like before when it was like sort of during COVID, but not really, but I wasn't working and Rachel had gone back to work and she was living at my mum's. So I would wake up with her and take her in and then I would come home and then around 11 I'd have a nap for a few hours and then I'd wake up and then do some stuff and then I'd go get her. But that was always the best, like waking up really early but knowing that when I come home I can have a
get back to sleep. But I wouldn't say that is a nap. I would just say that's continuing sleep.
Yeah.
Because I used to work as a passenger transport assistant and I only work in the mornings and afternoons. So I'd get home at about 10, nap till 2, and then I'd go back out to work.
It's like, I've only just woken up, but I am going to go back to sleep.
It's because it's not enough.
No.
It's never enough.
There's not enough hours in the night.
There's not enough hours in general.
Yeah, there's not. But also, sometimes I find there are too many hours in the day.
Only when I'm at work.
Yeah. Or if I'm doing something I really don't want to do.
Yeah.
I'm like, why is it not nighttime yet?
It's crazy to me that, like, different places around the world have different day lengths.
Yeah.
Like, some places have the polar night or the polar white where it's, like, daylight always. I think that'd be interesting. I'd love to live in a polar night.
Would you? Oh, no, yeah, same.
When it's just always dark. I thrive in the darkness. And it would be cold. I don't mind the cold.
Yeah, and like, I can't imagine it being light all the time, though. That would be horrible.
It would be.
Much rather it be dark.
Every curtain or every window in my house would have a blackout curtain. So I suppose we've not stuck entirely to sleep. We're not very structured, are we?
We can be sometimes, but I think our excuse this week is that we're tired.
Done.
Yeah.
Accepted. We're tired.
Deal with it. I'm joking. Please continue to listen.
But thank you for listening.
Yeah, and let us know your sleep stuff. Tell us how often you sleep. I'm tired. I don't know.
Let us know what sleep issues you have.
Yeah. Or sleep non-issue. I'm just going to shut down. Okay.
Bye.
Bye.